Got three, top three, got three, top three. Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Foxtail Digital coming to you again with Black Girl Stocks, and this is another segment of our top 3 option plays this week. Some of the top stock picks, fundamentals, and different strategies that you can do to make it through. Please make sure you click that thumbs up button, really helps the channel. Also make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video for you guys. Alright, so the first stock that we're looking at is AMD, and this is Advanced Micro Devices, so this is going to be in the technology field. So right now it's trading at 106.19, and as you can clearly see, it's in a huge uptrend. So they just had an earnings. We had an earnings last week on the 27th, so they thought it was going to be 48. We had an actual 63, so that was a blowout. And this is actually one of the 2 tech stocks that you'd want to look at after these great earnings. So it's going to be this stock and Apple. Now, one thing that's really going into this is they have a high demand for chips that are going to power PlayStations and Xboxes. With the new rollout of Xboxes, this could be really good for the company. It's already been in an uptrend since May. Now we're just going to see, is it going to continue that? Over the last 5 years, you know, they've had increasing earnings, so their revenue has continued to increase, so that's a pretty good sign. But it really picked up last year in 2020 when they released the new PlayStation and Xboxes, especially with the holidays coming around. This is probably going to be really good for this stock. Not for this video, we're really not looking long term. Long term, this is going to be a great play. Short term, there are just a few things that I want to pay attention to. Looking at this, you'll see after the earnings, it's been up. So this is going to be on our 5-minute, 5-day chart. So this is just, kind of a weekly chart. It's a little bit closer. So you'll see here, it's kind of had a pattern after earnings, during the after hours, it'll kind of do its thing, chill. And then boom, it'll give you a direction for that day. Not too much movement after hours, boom, direction of the day. Now this is just in last week. And like we said, long term, we're pretty bullish on this stock, but it did just have a huge price increase. So is it going to continue upward? I mean, look at that. Is it going to continue upward, or is it going to fall, consolidate a little bit? So I would consider it bullish if it continues past 106. So you see it hit this high of 106. It's at 106 right now. If it continues past 106 to 107, then that would be a good indication. I'm talking about Monday. So Monday, see what's going on. And then it's getting really close to the 50-day moving average. You see it's kind of tight right here. So on Monday, if you see this stock start to break above 106.97, that's going to be a great indication that it's going to continue on this upward pattern, at least towards next week. So that would be a good indication. I mean, it really closed off on the weekend for us. It could go either way, literally. The MACD is just sitting at this center line. So I really wouldn't do too much next week until I see some sort of direction trend. So if you see a breakout with this, either up or down. So let's say if you saw a breakout above 106, I would go bullish on this. But if I see a breakout below this we kind of have a previous support right here at 105. So if it breaks below 105 and you also see a break with your MACD, then I would consider it to be bearish going into next week. All right. And the next one is going to be DKNG. This is DraftKings. Honestly, it's giving me downtrend. It's been downtrending since March. And, of course, you're going to have some consolidations in a down market. You'll have some upswings, but essentially it's just a continuation of that down. Just looking at it a little bit further back, you do kind of see we just had a crossover with our MACD. So, that's kind of bearish indication. And also our RSI is a little bit on the not 100% oversold. So we still have some room to drop. And honestly, it's just looking like it's forming to continue going downward like it's been. Now, analysts are projecting a decline with the earnings. So this actually, the stock has an earnings report scheduled on the 8th of this month. So in a few days, they have an earnings, and they're saying that it might not do so hot. And looking back at previous earnings, I mean, well, this one, I'm not sure if it was an earnings beat or not, but I mean, it kind of skyrocketed after that, but I mean, it's still been dropping. And then after the previous earning, it still kind of continued on its downtrend, but it started to go up. So it could do that, but right now we're talking about next week. If this stock, now this is just looking on the further back chart, if this stock bounces off of this 50-day, this white line here, this is our 50-day moving average. If it bounces off of that, that would be a good indication that, okay, we can continue on our swing up. But just looking at the MACD, how that's giving me, is looking like she could, you know, be on her way down. And then also, it looks like we're about to have a crossover with our exponential moving averages, our short-term blue over our long-term yellow. But yeah, so for this one, I would be pretty bearish on this stock going into next week, but we'll see what happens with that. If it bounces off of this area, and then also you see we might have some support here. So we'll see. This I would consider a support zone. If it hits this 47 and it bounces back off from that, then that could be an indication that it's trying to, you know, to go upwards and stay above that 50-day moving average. But if it starts to drop below that 50-day moving average going into next week, then that's a really, really good bearish play. Okay, and this is our last one. This is going to be Micron Technology. This is another chip-based, another chippy, chipper stock. Now, right now, you can obviously see it's been in a downtrend. It had a high of 96. This is probably back in March. Okay, back in April. And it's been dropping like a hotcake since then. Just even looking at the MACD indicator, just really gave us, boom, just big dips under the center line, boom, boom, boom. But now we kind of start to see that these dips are, you know, they're kind of trying to, starting to subside. But it does still look like we're overall in a downtrend, even now from June 30th, my birthday. So we'll see with that. But recently we do see that it has been trending upwards. But is this, you know, just a consolidation of that downtrend? Is it going to continue downward? So we'll see. For this one, I would wait and see what happens with it. If you have a crossover with this MACD indicator, then that could be, you know, a show that it will continue on that downtrend and drop in price. So, you know, you can do like a put play or something like this. Anything that's going to profit from a stock dropping. All right, now one thing I thought was interesting about this is last week, and this is a little bit closer, 5-minute, 5-day chart. Look at this bull pattern here. Okay, it's giving me really bull, higher lows, lower highs. And we might have, you know, a breakout going into next week. It's been in an uptrend anyway, so we'll just see what happens. And this is a similar setup to a lot of the stocks that we're seeing here. Kind of not a lot of movement around the MACD, so I want to see some big movement with that. That's big movements, big price movements. The stock is about $77.58 a share. You know, I feel like if I started to see it go below this 75, 76 zone, then she could be losing momentum as far as this short-term uptrend and, you know, start to go down from that. Now, this is one of the 4 stocks to watch as the demands for smartphones are going to come back with everything that's going on in technology. And some people are projecting that it might go as high as $165 a share. Now, this is long-term though. So if you're trying to look for a long-term hold, this could be a cute play. Now, they had a pretty okay earnings back in June, but the stock has been in a downtrend since then. So that's, you know, that's dictate the direction of that stock. So we'll see. Honestly, to me, it's still giving downtrend. You know, it had that up. So if it breaks past, you know, if it starts to break above 78, then it might be breaking out of this downtrend. And then also, I want you to look at this too. Look at the MACD indicator, how our last 2 lows on the MACD are increasing, but our last 2 lows on the stock are decreasing. So that's giving me MACD divergence. So that could be an indication that this downtrend is slowing, and, you know, we might change direction. So, all right, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much. You know, I appreciate like you right there. I appreciate you. So I have to offer you this amazing information source. I made this video just for you, right there. Yeah. So check this video out. You're gonna like that. I made it for you. Check it out.